Low around 27. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high near 47. Chance of a wintry mix tomorrow night with a low around 25. Sunday, cloudy with a high near 31, low around 16. Monday, mostly cloudy with a high near 23, low around 9 degrees. Tuesday, chance of snow with a high near 22. And Wednesday, partly sunny with a high near 27. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
This is the Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week, sponsored by Barcom Security.
Hi, I'm Officer Drew Zabados, Crime Stoppers Coordinator for Sangamon and Menard counties. This week, Crime Stoppers is taking a moment to reflect on our efforts in 2022. With support from all of you, we took in 645 tips, solving 84 cases, and assisting law enforcement in making 37 arrests. Over $6,000 in cash, property, and drugs were recovered, 2 guns were taken off the street, and over $18,000 in tip rewards were approved for payout. None of this would be possible without your help, so from all of us at Crime Stoppers, thank you. We would also like to thank all those who sponsored or participated in our events. Finally, a big thank you to all of our local radio, news, and media outlets for your support. If you have any information about crime, call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 217-788-8427. Submit a tip on our website, cashfortips.us, or use the P3 app. If your tip results in an arrest, you could receive a cash reward up to $2,500. Remember, Crime Stoppers only want your information, not your name.
Catch a criminal, get a reward. Crime Stoppers of Sangamon and Menard County, sponsored by the Springfield office of Barcom Security. BarcomSecurity.com. Have a secure day.
Unpunished crime. Do you wonder sometimes if you're next on a criminal's target list? It's hard to know the real answer, but it's easy to make sure that you and your family are more secure. Barcom Security protects by minimizing response times. When trouble strikes, you're backed up with a live person who takes your call 24 hours a day. Contact the Springfield office of Barcom Security for a free estimate and have a secure day.
You could dig a hole in the ground and bury your cash, but that's no way to see your savings grow. Use an INB-CD, and you'll earn a 3.14% annual percentage yield just for keeping your money with us for 13 months. The minimum deposit and balance for this certificate of deposit special is $10,000. For more details, visit INB.com. Apply at any INB branch or on our website. INB, member FDIC.
92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Happy Friday. What a day we've got ahead of us. Good morning, Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on WMAY, and the headline is Illinois State Police look to consolidate a federal gun ban challenge with others. And getting those breaking details yesterday after I'm refreshing all of these different lawsuits that are against Illinois' gun and magazine ban. And it can quickly get into the weeds fast. So hopefully we can do what we can on this channel to break it all down for you, let you know what's going on when it comes to the Second Amendment and the gun ban in Illinois and all of the legal challenges there are, not just in state, but also federal court. And a lot of pieces moving around. So let's just go ahead and get right on into it, where you've got at least my tracking now. I think there are 8 lawsuits against the state of Illinois that have been filed. So I might at least seven. Let's see if we can go through this. So in federal court, you've got the State Rifle Association's motion for a preliminary injunction that was filed earlier this week. It's the latest movement in that federal case. You've got another federal case separate from the State Rifle Association, from the Illinois Gun Rights Alliance, and they've issued summonses in that federal case to State Police Director Brendan Kelly, Governor J.B. Pritzker, Attorney General Kwame Raoul. So those are the latest movements in that federal case. But then you have a case from the National Shooting Sports Foundation, which the NRA is also supporting, and they're just now only 3 days into that case being filed, and they're getting out all their disclosure statements. So some of the preliminary steps in that case. But here's where it gets fascinating. Yesterday, you had the Illinois State Police motion to consolidate those 3 cases with a 4th case that actually started out in state court but was transferred to federal court earlier this week. You may remember we talked about the Crawford County case. It was the first case that was filed in state court against the state's gun ban. And the attorney there told us that, he's, of course, challenging it on Second Amendment grounds, but also on Fifth Amendment grounds over the law saying that you have to file a registration with Illinois State Police about your semi-automatic guns you have in possession. Semi-automatic guns that the state legislature has deemed are banned and defined as assault weapons. And the attorney says it violates your Fifth Amendment because you have a right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself. So that's another argument in the Crawford County case, and they also argued 14th Amendment, equal protection rights arguments. So again, that was state court, but then it was transferred from state court to federal court earlier this week. Illinois State Police Director Brendan Kelly motioning to actually have that consolidated with other cases. And we'll go through some of the particulars here so you can follow along. And outside of WMAY, I write for the Center Square and Illinois Radio Network. So we had the story breaking yesterday and breaking down how the case is now in the federal courts. And you had Thursday, Illinois State Police motioning to consolidate that case with the three other cases from the Illinois State Rifle Association, Illinois Gun Rights Alliance, also the National Shooting Sports Foundation case. They motioned saying that similar cases are typically combined into the lower numbered case, which ISP says is the Langley case that was filed on January 19th. A little typo there. Consolidation of the cases prevents unnecessary duplication of litigation in 4 different cases, prompting judicial economy. And as such, each case is in the initial stages of litigation. No party will be prejudiced by the consolidation, ISP said. But what's not clear is how a different case that's in federal court that originally was filed back in September, not in January of 19th of this year, September of last year. And that's the case that is challenging Naperville's gun ban. So that case has been working through the process for months now. And they just recently amended that case to not just be about Naperville's city gun ban, but they amended the case to make it a challenge of the entire state's gun ban. So how is that going to affect Illinois State Police's request to consolidate 3 separate cases? They're not considering that 4th case out of Naperville, which, again, is amended to be a challenge across the entire state for their gun ban. So unclear how that's going to happen. Now, that Naperville case is in the Northern District of Federal Court for Illinois. The 3 other cases are in the Southern District for the Southern District of Illinois Federal Courts. You can consolidate cases from the north to the south and the middle and so on. But whether or not that's going to be brought up, I'm not sure. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judicial scholar. So this is all fresh to us. But just giving you kind of a lay of the land of what exactly is going on here with these legal wranglings. So, again, state police filing to consolidate 4 cases together, 1 that was moved out of state court with 3 that were filed initially in federal court, and some questions being raised in the background here about how this case is going to progress, because the case is being taken by the judge for the Southern District, the chief judge for the Southern District, and you can see here that the judge ultimately is going to be Judge Nancy Rosengel, the U.S. Southern District of Illinois Chief Judge, an appointee of President Barack Obama. So some people already raising concern about that. But of course, that's just one layer of court. You've got the appellate district and then all the way to the Supreme Court. So this thing's going to play through all the way. But there's also questions about the attorney that brought the original Crawford County case and some questions about his past. Somebody emailing me talking about the history of that counsel. And is that really going to be the lead counsel for this case challenging the gun ban on Second Amendment grounds? Fascinating. But I will say Illinois State Rifle Association's Richard Pearson, when we talked with him yesterday, he really laid out how he expected that there is going to be some consolidation, but he also wants there to be expeditious injunctive relief to block the measure as quick as possible.
So we had a temporary restraining order, then that stops everything and gives us time to argue for a permanent restraining order, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of legal maneuvering in that time after that is done.
And Pearson saying that he wants to get that restraining order in place well before state police are set to open up the window October 1st for the gun registration in the state of Illinois. So that's some of the latest when it comes to the federal courts here in Illinois when it comes to challenging the state's gun and magazine ban. If you like what you're hearing and you like the regular updates, be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow me on YouTube, like and subscribe, do all that jazz. And of course, you can tune in locally here on WMAY. Weekday mornings, 6 to 9. WMAY.com, 92.7 FM, make it happen. All right, coming back, we got more to delve into with this, including a state lawsuit that was filed by a county prosecutor, all right, out of McHenry County. We'll get to the latest there on WMAY. But first, we got to take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where you've got a high today of around 44 degrees. It's not going to be too shabby, but a chance of flurries. Yes, flurries possible, with a low down to 27. And then Saturday, we got a chance of some rain with a high of 47, the low of 25. Sunday, cloudy with a high of 31. Monday, mostly cloudy, 23 the high. And then Tuesday, 22 the high, with a chance of snow. Wednesday, we're looking at partly sunny skies, the high of 27. Right now, 23 degrees at 619 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions. And did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Dream Nissan, Dream Nissan.
Not your typical dealership you're dealing with.
Dream Nissan, Dream Nissan.
We've got the ride and the price you want to pay.
Dream Nissan, putting your dreams in your driveway.
Number one choice, Midwest dealer, guaranteed financing, no hassle-friendly service, unlimited warranty. Come see us in Wood River.
Dream Nissan, putting your dreams in your driveway.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections, Springfield to Dallas to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport remains open for you. Your hometown airport is committed to providing a safe, clean, and healthy travel experience. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at aa.com. Fly local, fly SPI.
Take the easy way out.
Why waste another night on a mattress that's not comfortable or supportive? This is Caleb Kitzman with Verlo Mattress. Our mattresses aren't dropped off by the truckload like most mattress stores. At Verlo, we handcraft every mattress in our local factory. That means we custom fit a mattress for you, not the other way around. Stop in this month and pair any of our mattresses with an adjustable base and get up to $200 off. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Save up to $600 during Verlo's clearance sale.
Right now, during the Verlo Mattress Clearance Sale, you can save even more with Verlo's already low consumer direct prices. Oh, you'll find phenomenal savings on floor models and discontinued mattresses. And all our mattresses are made locally, just for you, and are backed by our lifetime comfort guarantee. Oh, but you'd better hurry. The sale ends soon. Wake up, sleep better, and save at Verlo.
As you sit slightly sideways staring at a ditch, it's about now you're thinking, I sure wish I'd have visited Lauterbach and done something about these tires. Worry not, we've all been there. And Lauterbach is here. It's the Lauterbach man, and I'm overlooking stacks of fresh tires ready for your car. Putting two and two together, it's pretty clear that a place called Lauterbach Tire is quite exceptional when it comes to those rubber miracles. See, good tread and properly balanced tires can mean the difference between you choosing when to stop and that slushy ditch choosing for you. And it's not exaggerating to say better tires can mean a safer Springfield. I'm serious about safety, and I know you are too. So let's meet over lunch or whenever is convenient for you and find you a nice set of safe tires. You'll be happy, and that car in front of you right now will be happy too. See my talented techs at Lauterbach Tire on Wabash today, and drive safely now.
Anxiety. There's plenty of it to go around for just about everyone these days, but the question is, how are you dealing with it? Anxiety can make things difficult. If you find yourself reaching for drugs or alcohol as the solution, chances are your anxiety has gotten out of control. It's time to pick up the phone and call Gateway Foundation. You'll talk with someone who holds the strictest confidentiality so that you can open up and learn about treatment options. Our team of professional counselors, therapists, psychiatrists, and physicians have a long history of helping people like you get back on track. During the healing process, you'll find that there is nothing to be ashamed of. Calling Gateway Foundation is that important first step towards getting away from the self-medication of alcohol and other substances and on the road towards safe, rewarding, and sustainable recovery. Call Gateway Foundation at 877-505-HOPE for a free, private, confidential screening. Gateway Foundation, addiction medicine saving lives.
What's the best thing to do with your money during uncertain times? Financial experts agree products like certificates of deposit and money market accounts can be a safe haven from a bumpy economy. At Warren Boynton State Bank, we've been helping people find ways for their money to make money for 145 years. Certificates of deposit, or CDs, give you a guaranteed return on your money. Money market accounts are a way to let your money earn higher interest with the flexibility of a checking account. These are just two options we have at Warren Boynton, each designed to give your money security, and they just might help you sleep better at night. At Warren Boynton, you can say we've seen a few things over the years. A lot has happened since we opened our doors in 1877, but no matter what was going on in the rest of the world, we've stood by folks in Central Illinois. A little extra confidence during challenging economic times. Warren Boynton State Bank, WBSB.net, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
All right, today's daily poll question at WMAY.com. Let's get that puppy loaded. Where's the poll at? Where's that poll? I don't see the poll. All right, we'll see if we can wake whoever up needs to get that poll on the website, because I don't see it. So if I don't see it, you don't see it, we can't take the daily poll. 6:24 now on WMAY.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 92.7 WMAY.
Well, a state prosecutor has filed a lawsuit against the state of Illinois for the gun ban and the magazine ban and the registry. This coming out of McHenry County State's Attorney's Office, where Patrick Keneally's office has filed that lawsuit. It's the first, from my understanding, of a actual elected official filing a lawsuit against the state of Illinois. Not necessarily the truth. You've got Blaine Lilhauer and Adam Niemer, who filed suit in the White County state level case. But this is the first of a county law enforcement officer, a state's attorney, who's filed suit against the state of Illinois over the gun ban. So here it is, McHenry County State's Attorney Patrick Keneally. He filed this lawsuit yesterday in McHenry County, and it's now the, fourth state-level case that's been filed. So here he is with his news release yesterday on Facebook. Says the McHenry County State's Attorney sues over state's assault weapons and high-capacity magazine ban, both in quotations. Says the McHenry County State's Attorney's Office filed a complaint today in McHenry County Circuit Court challenging the constitutionality of House Bill 5471. That's the measure that they ultimately had to gut and replace several bills to get to, and this was the third iteration of it. The first bill from Bob Morgan stood alone. It was the Protected Illinois Communities Act, but then they went to an amusement park ride bill, stripped that, put new language in, modified it, and then they took a different bill, an insurance bill, and stripped that and put the gun ban and registry in there. So you can see kind of somehow the legal wranglings are going on there. And that's part of the argument against the measure in the state level courts from Tom DeVore. He's challenging that entire process of violation of third readings are the allegations. And that's where you have to read a bill 3 times, or the bill has to be single subject, pertinent and germane to what the original filing of the bill was. So some of those arguments, we'll see how they stand up in courts. But you've got the McHenry County State's Attorney's Office here filing the complaint, saying that the complaint alleges that HB 5471 violates the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, Article 1, Section 22, and the Illinois Constitution, that's Section 22, Article 1, which also protects residents' right to bear arms. Keneally said that the party of unchecked power in Illinois knew the law was constitutionally problematic when they, like with the Safety Act, passed it in irregular legislative session without any meaningful debate and under cover of darkness. He went on to say that we at the state's attorney's office have well-founded concerns about the law being unconstitutional and will again head to court to ensure to uphold our sworn obligation to protect and defend the United States and Illinois constitutions. So I was able to reach out to the McHenry County State's Attorney's Office, and I talked with Troy Owens, who is the Assistant State's Attorney, and he laid out some of the rationale as to why, indeed, the McHenry County State's Attorney's Office is challenging this, being the first, from my understanding, county elected official to challenge the gun ban in McHenry County. And here is Troy Owens chatting with me briefly yesterday about why they filed the case.
Well, we believe that the law is blatantly and facially unconstitutional, being compelled essentially to participate in the prosecution of an offense, or an offense that we believe is unconstitutional, puts us in an ethical quandary. Essentially having to enforce a law that we don't believe is square with the Second Amendment.
So they have an emergency hearing set for Monday morning, and we'll see what ultimately comes out of that. But they are requesting a temporary restraining order against the law, just as we've seen a temporary restraining order issued in Effingham County. The appeal and the response to the appeal is ongoing with that. You've got the White County, where a TRO ruling is expected soon. But in McHenry County, they'll have an emergency hearing on Monday, where they're going to request a temporary restraining order, and we'll see how long it takes for that to be ruled upon. But here we are, a state's attorney filing a lawsuit against the state of Illinois over the gun ban and registry. Now, what's interesting is how this could ultimately lead to the Illinois Supreme Court acting on what's going on here. Because reflect back to the Safety Act, the provision, that was supposed to be implemented January 1st. But you had state's attorneys from across the state sue. They consolidated all those cases in the state court. And then you had a state court, I believe in Kankakee, that the judge issued a temporary restraining order against implementation of the law. And they said it only affects the 63 counties that sued, 65 counties. Illinois has 102 counties. So you had all of these lawsuits consolidated, a judge saying there's a temporary restraining order while this case progresses. But then the Illinois Supreme Court said, no, we're not just carving out these few counties because that could cause chaos. They went ahead and issued a temporary restraining order against the entire state from enforcing no cash bail. So that was right before New Year's. They just have some legal filings going back and forth. It could be March before they actually determine what to do with the no cash bail provision and whether or not that violates the state constitution. So you can see that same type of thing happening possibly with the challenge of the state's gun ban. If you have, a county like McHenry get a restraining order just for McHenry County from enforcing this, and then you have some other states attorneys from across the state, 102 different states attorneys, by the way. If you have other ones getting county level challenges and injunctions, then you have kind of a mishmash and a patchwork of sorts of all of the different counties that are actually restraining enforcement of the gun ban. You could see where it could get to a point of the Illinois Supreme Court having to say, all right, we've got a patchwork here. We're going to have to suspend the law in order for this to progress and not cause chaos. Will that happen? I don't know, but we'll be watching all of this very closely. But again, you've got cases in federal court where state police are trying to consolidate those. You've got state-level cases where temporary restraining orders are being issued. And now a state's attorney, the first, from my understanding, filing a lawsuit against the gun ban in McHenry County. If they get that temporary restraining order, it would be just for residents in McHenry County, where they would be safe from the state enforcing the gun ban. A lot of moving pieces here. And of course, we'll be updating you all throughout. Bishop on Air on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Check it out. Subscribe, share. And, of course, wake up every morning here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Got to take a break. It is now 8:32. Let's get a headline check from the newsroom.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, NASA is marking the 20th anniversary of the Space Shuttle Columbia tragedy during its annual tribute to fallen astronauts. More than 100 people gathered under a gray sky at Florida's Kennedy Space Center yesterday to remember Columbia's crew of 7 and the 18 other astronauts killed in the line of duty. NASA's 2 shuttle accidents account for more than half of those astronauts. Columbia was destroyed during re-entry in 2003 after a piece of the aircraft came off and punctured the left wing during liftoff. Direct daily flights between Springfield and Dallas end June 1st. American Airlines is ending its Dallas flights because of low ridership and will switch to twice daily flights from Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport to Chicago O'Hare. American joins United in offering daily flights to O'Hare, while Allegiant Air provides service to Florida and Phoenix. Springfield Airport Director Mark Hanna says the airport continues to talk with carriers about potential new routes and options for local passengers. Governor J.B. Pritzker commented on the dispute between Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and the College Board over the contents of an African-American studies course. DeSantis directed Florida schools not to offer the course because he says it engages in woke ideology, including topics like queer theory and abolishing prisons. Pritzker says Illinois will reject any changes made because of what he calls Florida's racist and homophobic laws. Both men are being discussed as potential presidential candidates in 2024. Democratic State Senator Robert Martwick plans to reintroduce the idea of a graduated income tax after voters narrowly rejected a constitutional amendment to make that change in 2020, despite support from Governor J.B. Pritzker. Martwick says the focus will be on providing middle-class tax relief, but hasn't released details. Republicans responded by introducing a resolution that calls on lawmakers to respect the will of voters and reject any graduated tax proposal. Pritzker says he's not focused on bringing the idea up again. Tuition is rising for incoming freshmen at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, but not at the University of Illinois Springfield. The U of I Board of Trustees approved a 1.9% increase in tuition for the Urbana-Champaign and Chicago campuses. For Urbana-Champaign, a full-time student would pay $12,712 a year, an increase of $238. UIS will continue to charge $321.50 per credit hour. Under Illinois law, tuition rates for incoming freshmen are locked in for 4 years. The candidates for Springfield mayor differ over what should happen next to Wyndham City Center downtown. Incumbent Mayor Jim Langfelder supports the owner's plan to convert dozens of units in the 30-story hotel to apartments, so long as the Wyndham retains 225 hotel rooms and conference space for conventions. Challenger Misty Busher says the Wyndham should not convert any of its current hotel rooms to apartments since downtown shops rely on visitors rather than city residents for the bulk of their business. Wednesday's candidate forum can be heard on demand at WMAY.com. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
How would you like to work for the area's premier multimedia marketing and advertising company right here in Springfield? Well, here's your opportunity. At Midwest Family, we're looking for talented and dynamic account executives who thrive in a fast-paced working environment. Those who are passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive. Are you a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have a grasp on today's digital media? And do you have the ability to cultivate lasting relationships and partnerships? If this sounds like this is for you, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on our careers tab. At Midwest Family Springfield, we offer unique sales career opportunities where you're given a challenging mission, world-class tools like HubSpot CRM, ongoing training, and the chance to realize your full potential as a marketing and advertising sales professional. This is Rob Zavitka, Director of Sales and Business Development Manager at Midwest Family Springfield. Are you my next candidate? If so, please apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
Step away from the hectic pace of life for 30 seconds and let me tell you about Elkhart Station. You'll find Elkhart Station located in the heart of Elkhart, Illinois, where nostalgia meets small-town charm. Search the fun and unique handcrafted products and everyday necessities, including food and beverages from the state of Illinois. Let your taste buds decide which of the local beer, wine, and crafted spirits are the best in the tasting room experience. For more information, visit conshg.com.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Today, mostly cloudy and breezy with a high near 44, low around 27. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high near 47. Chance of a wintry mix tomorrow night with a low around 25. Sunday, cloudy with a high near 31, low around 16. Monday, mostly cloudy with a high near 23, low around 9 degrees. Tuesday, chance of snow with a high near 22. And Wednesday, partly sunny with a high near 27. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
This seems a little early to start this, but I could be wrong. It's National Preschool Fitness Day. Yes, you kids get out there and give me a 5-minute mile.
That's
all right,
right.
I need that. Here's Green Toyota Volkswagen Audi's Casey Lane.
I am surprised we still have this. It's a really nice 2019 Mazda CX-5 Signature all-wheel drive. It is priced $3,100 below market value. It only has 25,267 miles. And like Toyota, Mazda is a reliable vehicle. I had one that went over 200,000 miles. It never had anything wrong with it.
Amazing.
So if you're looking for reliability in a little SUV, this is a great one. So come on down. It's got navigation, leather, sunroof, heated seats, cooled seats, adaptive cruise control. It's got everything on it. So come on down, check it out.
And according to Mileage Copeland, it's only been driven to preschool and back.
That's right.
So, I mean, it's a really easy vehicle.
Yes.
Yeah. See us as soon as you can before somebody makes the kids get down and give me 50, right? We're on West Wabash, and we would love to see you today. Remember, at Green Toyota Volkswagen Audi.
We're all in this together.
There are 3 words I always hear when someone from our staff is on the phone. We got it. Hi, it's Laurie from Rex Battery, and whenever somebody calls us and asks if we have a certain type of battery, the answer is always, we got it. Even in those very rare instances we don't, we know how to get it. And if we don't know how to get it, we'll build it. That's how committed we are to making sure you have the power you need. From model cars to real cars, from toys to tractors, dog collars to doorbells, riding mowers to remote keys. If it takes a battery, we have it at Rex Battery. Over 75,000 batteries in stock right now. So if you're wondering if we've got a battery, yep, we've got it. They're fresh, fully charged, and ready to go. Keeping Central Illinois fully powered for over 60 years. Rex Battery, Clear Lake, west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Ion Travel Minute. Dog owners who travel with their pets find it increasingly difficult to locate beaches where their canines are welcome. So try Baker's Key Beach in Key Largo, Florida. Key Largo is dog-friendly, so is the beach. In California, Huntington Beach isn't just Surf City, it can also be called Dog City at the Huntington Dog Beach. And on the East Coast, many beaches are only really dog-friendly during the off-season. So try Block Island. That's the exception. Even the ferries to the island welcome dogs for free. For more information, visit petergreenberg.com. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Ion Travel Minute.
Bedtime is rough, and we'll go to extremes to fall asleep. Tempur-Pedic adapts to your body's needs to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. So ditch the eye masks. Head to Ashley to find your perfect Tempur-Pedic.
92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
More county sheriffs saying that they are not going to abide by the law passed by Democrats at the Illinois State House and enacted by Governor J.B. Pritzker that enforces a gun ban on citizens and also a gun registry. This, of course, happened earlier this month with the governor enacting that ban, and then you instantly had sheriffs across the state say they're not going to enforce it. And I think it's like 90-plus sheriffs across the state have said this, including out of DuPage County, which is the second largest county in the state of Illinois. But you've got sheriffs all across the state that are saying they're not going to enforce this. This while you have, as we covered in the last segments, a state's attorney out of McHenry County suing the state over this. So you've got county elected officials, top law enforcement officials that are not going to comply or are suing over the state's gun ban. So, of course, this is going to be very contentious as all of these different court cases get played out. You've got the federal cases that the state police are looking to consolidate. See how a separate federal case that they don't want to consolidate with might impact that trajectory. But you also have state level cases with temporary restraining orders issued in Effingham County, expecting a ruling out of White County. And now you have McHenry County, state's attorney, suing the state to get a temporary restraining order for the entire McHenry County population. And an emergency hearing on that case is set for Monday. But in the background of all of that, you've got sheriffs who are refusing to enforce the law. And State Representative Adam Niemerg, he held a news conference yesterday with several sheriffs and others in law enforcement. And it started off with the sheriff out of Crawford County, William Rutan. He addressed the media and said, hey, this is an unconstitutional law that he believes they should not enforce because it violates individuals' Second Amendment rights. Here is the sheriff, William Rutan, out of Crawford County.
I am a constitutional officer. I swore to uphold the Constitution of the United States first and foremost, and that me and several of the other sheriffs in the state, like most of us, and several state's attorneys, along with the Crawford County state's attorney, have sent out these letters stating that we feel this law that has recently passed is unconstitutional, and how we do not want to, or how we are not going to enforce any of that law.
So it'd be interesting to see if the Crawford County state's attorney follows suit of McHenry County's state's attorney and files a lawsuit. But you had Adam Niemerg, the state representative from Dietrich. He's also the Teutopolis area. He addressed members of the media yesterday and just laid out really the concerns that he shares a lot of these sheriffs have, and that is that this law violates individuals' Second Amendment rights in the U.S. Constitution, but not just that. He also says it's misguided because, there's this push to try to curb gun violence. And he says that this is not going to curb gun violence.
Woke, progressive states' attorneys will not prosecute acts of gun violence in their counties. They'll call it mutual combat. Yet they will prosecute honest citizens who wish to exercise their constitutional right to keep and bear arms. And make no mistake about it, this new law infringes on the rights of honest citizens. It infringes their rights by preventing them from buying firearms that are legal in nearly every other state. It selectively applies our constitutional rights to certain citizens, but denies those rights to others. The new law essentially treats the Second Amendment like a privilege rather than a right, which is what it is. In our society, we don't provide the government a list of people who attend church or who are members of the local Rotary Club because our Constitution gives us a right to freely assemble. We don't have to get permission from the government to exercise our rights because to do so would contradict the very nature of what a right is. Honest citizens are not the ones causing gun violence. Stripping honest citizens of their rights won't solve the problem. More laws are not the solution. We must address the root cause of gun violence. We must help troubled youth get the mental health care they need, and we must, as a society, elevate and promote the family as the bedrock of who we are. Let's focus on real solutions, and let's stop infringing on the rights of honest citizens. Folks, our Second Amendment is not subject to a governor's political narrative or presidential aspirations.
So we're hearing from the news conference yesterday down in the southern Illinois area with State Representative Adam Niemerg, who you just heard there, standing alongside several county sheriffs and other deputies from law enforcement and so on. And another sheriff was heard yesterday after being asked some questions. This is the Jasper County Sheriff, Brandon Francis. He laid out his concerns and how he's not afraid. He said he's not afraid to not enforce this. And the question was really about, Governor J.B. Pritzker saying, hey, if you don't enforce this as a law enforcement officer, then you shouldn't be in your job. But Jasper County Sheriff says he's not really too concerned about what, Governor J.B. Pritzker has to say. He has an oath of office that is about the Constitution and individuals' rights under that Constitution. Again, here's Jasper County Sheriff Brandon Francis.
Obviously, there's discretion in which law that we enforce, but a law that would be a violation of our constitutional rights is something that we would not enforce. I mean, that's, we don't commonly see that, but in this case, it's happened. So
this is obviously.
So he says that in this case it has happened, that there's an unconstitutional law. They believe it's unconstitutional, and he's not going to enforce it, as a bunch of sheriffs across the state have also indicated they're not going to enforce it. And it was asked, if the courts do say that this is constitutional, will you enforce it then? He didn't necessarily directly answer that question, but again, to the issue of it's repugnant. If anything's repugnant to the Constitution, then it should not be enforced. And we talked about this briefly a couple of days ago about the idea of not just upholding citizens' rights under the Constitution, but also the idea of the possibility that if a sheriff or a state's attorney is to prosecute an unconstitutional law and prosecute somebody for violation of that unconstitutional law, that individual who's prosecuted could then sue, and then you've got taxpayer liability out the wazoo to make up for not just defending the actions, but also possible payouts because of infringement of constitutional rights. So there's also a fiduciary responsibility that counties have in not enforcing unconstitutional laws, according to some arguments. All right, so just to preface that. Let's get a few reactions here at 217-629-7970. Good morning, you're on WMAY.
Greg, two quick points. One, when you say Teutopolis, you have to mention the greatest Illinois school mascot, the Wooden Shoes.
Are they from Denmark or something? Is that a pretty, Danish
They've
heavy?
been the Wooden Shoes, and I know first school in state history to win the boys and girls basketball championship in the same year.
Look at you! What is this?
And for some reason,
is there some like Illinois
tall.
Trivial Pursuit that you're writing or something?
Everyone is so tall down there. I don't know why.
Okay,
but
all right.
It's a thing. Anyway, Champaign County, he supports it. Does that have anything to do, not being a conspiracy, but does that have anything to do with, the University of Illinois?
Champaign County supports it. Cook County supports it. There were questions about St. Clair County.
You might want to fall in line, buddy.
Say again?
Was there any, hey, you might want to fall in line? Because, boy, I'd hate to see that funding lapse a little bit.
It's an interesting question. Again, I'll let you theorize on
the
that.
Only one. Thanks, Greg.
I'll let you theorize. I appreciate it. 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning. Do you think there's any, what's the I'd like to know what you think the difference is between all these sheriffs willing to stand up and say no to this new law as opposed to administrators in schools across Illinois not standing up to a mandate from the governor regarding COVID policies. Is there
a relation there? Rephrase that. I'm not sure I follow.
So what would make them, this is an actual law that was passed as opposed to just a mandate by the governor, and that really couldn't be
You'll talk with someone who holds the strictest confidentiality so that you can open up and learn about treatment options. Our team of professional counselors, therapists, psychiatrists, and physicians have a long history of helping people like you get back on track. During the healing process, you'll find that there is nothing to be ashamed of. Calling Gateway Foundation is that important first step towards getting away from the self-medication of alcohol and other substances and on the road towards safe, rewarding, and sustainable recovery. Call Gateway Foundation at 877-505-HOPE for a free, private, confidential screening. Gateway Foundation, addiction medicine saving lives.
Online means no lines. When you're ordering from Head West, go to headwestsubs.com and get fed without waiting in line.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today. Yeah!
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know, one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
Yes, you got that right.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Why waste another night on a mattress that's not comfortable or supportive? This is Caleb Kitzman with Verlo Mattress. Our mattresses aren't dropped off by the truckload like most mattress stores. At Verlo, we handcraft every mattress in our local factory. That means we custom fit a mattress for you, not the other way around. Stop in this month and pair any of our mattresses with an adjustable base and get up to $200 off. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Save up to $600 during Verlo's clearance sale.
Right now, during the Verlo Mattress Clearance Sale, you can save even more with Verlo's already low consumer direct prices. Oh, you'll find phenomenal savings on floor models and discontinued mattresses. And all our mattresses are made locally, just for you, and are backed by our lifetime comfort guarantee. Oh, but you better hurry. The sale ends soon. Wake up, sleep better, and save at Verlo.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
Listen and watch the interviews with today's newsmakers on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe now. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
right, so we've been talking this hour about all of the various movements of lawsuits. You've got the state police that have filed to consolidate 3 federal cases into a 4th federal case that was actually moved from Crawford County state level to federal level in the Southern District of Illinois. That judge in the federal courts appointed by Obama has some people concerned about the trajectory of this, but the bottom line is that they're seeking a temporary restraining order statewide while this moves through the courts. And you've got the questions of, is this really going to be dealt with before October 1st, which is the opening of the window for people to register their semi-automatic weapons with Illinois State Police. But you also have the first state's attorney that filed a lawsuit in McHenry County against the state. And that is a preliminary hearing heard on Monday, so we'll cover that for you as well, and that coming from McHenry County again. But again, also sheriffs across the state saying that they're not going to enforce an unconstitutional law. Your thoughts on this? Thanks for your patience. Good morning. You're on WMAY. What's up?
Hey there. So I've been following you for a little bit ever since the law passed. I just had a couple points to make, if it's all right.
Please. You got about a minute and a half, though.
Okay, I'll make it quick then. So looking back at past laws, 1986, they passed the Hughes Amendment banning switches, fully automatic firearms from general possession and manufacture. So that's already been banned for the last almost 40 years. They did this through an emergency session with a bunch of people, including Jim Durkin, who were in their lame duck session where there was no repercussions. And they could do this where no one could respond. The citizenry could not vote these people out because they were retiring. So there was no reprisal, I guess. So,
and a lot of Democrats who I approached in the Senate that voted against it or didn't vote for it, they wouldn't tell me why they didn't vote for it, and apparently they're in blended districts. You got about 30 more seconds. Go ahead.
Exactly, sir. And then, let's look at nationally. California. California has the most stringent gun laws in the United States at the current moment, and they still can't stop this stuff. Right. So it's like, are you going to sit there and tell me, not you, sir, but you're going to sit there and tell me as an elected official that this stuff is actually going to keep people safe? And as a gun owner, it's not going to keep people safe. During 2000, the Columbine shooting happened in the middle of the national assault weapons ban.
Yeah, and I appreciate the call. We are up against a hard break. We'll talk more about this in the future for sure. Appreciate it. 7 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's news and talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Justin Finch. The National Archives telling former presidents and vice presidents to take a look for any classified documents they might have, and most already have.
The offices for Presidents Obama and Clinton tell us that all of their classified material was properly turned in. The Office for President George W. Bush, responding to these new requests from the archives, tells us they, quote, remain confident that no such material are in their possession.
ABC's Mary Bruce. Later today, police body cam video is expected to go public in 2 separate cases. First, the video of the beating death of a black driver in Memphis, Tyree Nichols. 5 black officers are charged. Nichols' mother, Rovon Wells, calling for calm.
You can get your point across, but we don't need to tear up our cities, people, because we do have to live in them.
And the second video in San Francisco shows the attack on the husband of former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Suspect David DePape facing attempted murder charges. This morning, the Biden administration is blaming lawsuits in Republican states for blocking student debt relief to millions of Americans.
President Biden's advisors saying that the Republican majority state of Texas has the most student debt relief requests. More than 2 million there applied for the president's debt forgiveness plan. Missouri leading the Supreme Court challenge next month to the plan, and the White House saying it had to stop processing nearly 500,000 student debt forgiveness requests there because Missouri's Attorney General sued to stop it.
ABC's Andy Field. Critics have called Biden's plan presidential overreach. A monumental change could be in the works for national blood donation rules. The Washington Post reports the FDA is proposing allowing gay and bisexual men to donate blood even if they're sexually active. Right now, that group is banned from donating blood. This is ABC News.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.
Oh boy, on this Friday, tons more to get to, including a totally separate issue about law enforcement. That's the no cash bail provision and the Illinois Attorney General filing their response in the Illinois Supreme Court about the provision that suspends the implementation of no cash bail in Illinois. So we'll revisit all of that coming up here next and get your phone calls as well. Plus an event coming to Springfield again another year. It's the Fat Ass 5K. We'll get details of that. It's a great event, especially for those of you listening outside of the Springfield area. You might want to plan to get downtown for this because this is a good time. So we'll hear details about that coming up. All on the way here this hour with Springfield's Morning News on WMAY. It's now 7:03.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Tuition is rising for incoming freshmen at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, but not at the University of Illinois Springfield. The U of I Board of Trustees approved a 1.9% increase in tuition for the Urbana-Champaign and Chicago campuses. For Urbana-Champaign, a full-time student would pay $12,712 a year, an increase of $238. UIS will continue to charge $321.50 per credit hour. Under Illinois law, tuition rates for incoming freshmen are locked in for 4 years. Direct daily flights between Springfield and Dallas end June 1st. American Airlines is ending its Dallas flights because of low ridership and will switch to twice daily flights from Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport to Chicago O'Hare. American joins United in offering daily flights to O'Hare, while Allegiant Air provides service to Florida and Phoenix. Springfield Airport Director Mark Hanna says the airport continues to talk with carriers about potential new routes and options for local passengers. The Springfield School Board is considering a proposal to spend more than $200,000 on a program to bring yoga and mindfulness classes to the city's elementary schools. The program is designed to help students cope with anxiety, deal with trauma, and develop better self-regulation techniques. The cost of $192,000 for instruction includes teacher training, while $35,000 would be dedicated for supplies and would be paid for out of federal COVID relief funding. The board will hear a presentation at its February 6th meeting. The candidates for Springfield mayor differ over what should happen next to Wyndham City Center downtown. Incumbent Mayor Jim Langfelder supports the owner's plan to convert dozens of units in the 30-story hotel to apartments, so long as the Wyndham retains 225 hotel rooms and conference space for conventions. Challenger Misty Busher says the Wyndham should not convert any of its current hotel rooms to apartments since downtown shops rely on visitors rather than city residents for the bulk of their business. Wednesday's candidate forum can be heard on demand at WMAY.com. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News sponsored by CBD Botanicals. Visit CBD Botanicals in Springfield and Edwardsville. Online at cbdbotanicals.com.
How would you like to work for the area's premier multimedia marketing and advertising company right here in Springfield? Well, here's your opportunity. At Midwest Family, we're looking for talented and dynamic account executives who thrive in a fast-paced working environment. Those who are passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive. Are you a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have a grasp on today's digital media? And do you have the ability to cultivate lasting relationships and partnerships? If this sounds like this is for you, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on our careers tab. At Midwest Family Springfield, we offer unique sales career opportunities where you're given a challenging mission, world-class tools like HubSpot CRM, ongoing training, and the chance to realize your full potential as a marketing and advertising sales professional. This is Rob Zavitka, Director of Sales and Business Development Manager at Midwest Family Springfield. Are you my next candidate? If so, please apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
The ginormous indoor auto sale event is back, this time at the Old Shop and Save on Chatham Road. The Old Shop and Save is now Drive and Save. Green Hyundai and the goats at Green Certified West have moved all used vehicles indoors to the Old Shop and Save. Hundreds of vehicles all marked down indoors at the ginormous Drive and Save indoor auto sale at the corner of Chatham Road and Wabash. Aisle after aisle of fresh local trades. No freezer section here. All these vehicles are inside at a balmy 72 degrees. You don't even need to clip coupons to get 0% financing and huge savings on cars, trucks, minivans, SUVs, and more. And with Mike Quimby being there, you know you'll get more for your trade than anywhere. The ginormous Drive and Save indoor auto sale at the Old Shop and Save is going on now. Corner of Chatham Road in Wabash. 0% financing for 36 months, $10,000 max finance with approved credit through Heartland Credit Union.
Everywhere you are with TuneIn Radio, the WMAY app, or at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Today, mostly cloudy and breezy with a high near 44, low around 27. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high near 47. Chance of a wintry mix tomorrow night with a low around 25. Sunday, cloudy with a high near 31, low around 16. Monday, mostly cloudy with a high near 23, low around 9 degrees. Tuesday, chance of snow with a high near 22. And Wednesday, partly sunny with a high near 27. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Hi, I'm Misty Busher. For the last 8 years, I've been your Springfield City Treasurer. During that time, I modernized the office and earned over $8 million in interest. I'm proud to be a Springfield resident, and my husband Mike and I have raised our 2 children here. I'm running for mayor, and in the coming months, I will share with you my specific ideas on how I will bring new energy and leadership to help our city grow and prosper. I'm Misty Busher, and I'm working to earn your vote for Springfield mayor.
Paid for by Friends of Misty Busher.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
I do love music and dancing in particular. I have a very good friend, Beverly. She's my dance partner, even though she can only just kind of move back and forth. But she enjoys it quite a lot, and she looks forward to it.
Oh, Bill's my dancing buddy. We have a good time.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Hey, John, when you think of the word supply chain, what's your next impulse?
No, turn off the news, run for cover, start whimpering.
Yeah, well, a customer of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World wrote in that they visited the store wanting to buy a microwave.
Something that used to be so simple.
Oh, right. You know what they walked out with?
Let me guess. A microwave.
Exactly. Dick Van Dyke had what they needed in stock, and the customer also remarked as to how helpful the salespeople were, too. Supply chain problems are still a thing, but this customer got the help they needed, and they wrote in to thank us.
You know, a little less whimpering in today's world can't be a bad thing.
This is Dennis Reekin, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Supply chain issues are minimized when you have multiple locations and people who know how to help you with your next purchase. All we do is appliances, and we do them better than anyone else. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Let's talk about no cash bail and the status of that statewide measure that was supposed to go into effect January 1st, but was ultimately blocked by the Illinois Supreme Court pending challenges from more than half of the state's attorneys in the state of Illinois. It's Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. We're live and local each and every weekday morning from 6 to 9, and you can always chime in live and local at 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. So just some background here. Of course, we've been tracking a whole host of different types of lawsuits in the state and federal courts concerning the state's gun ban, and now we kind of change our focus from the gun ban to another issue about crime and punishment, and that is whether or not individuals who are facing crimes and innocent until proven guilty, whether or not they languish in jail because they can't afford bail, as supporters of no cash bail say, or if they should be allowed to bail out for some kind of financial surety of sorts. So if you recall, this measure, the Safety Act, it passed way back in January of 2021. I just want to make sure I get all the times right. I remember it was in the height of COVID. The Senate was in the Illinois Senate chambers at the state capitol. The House, they were actually at a convention center down the street in Springfield. I was following along from my truck as I watched remotely and was watching all of the debates. The Senate passed the Safety Act, including the no cash bail provision, at like 3 or 4 in the morning with very little debate. There was very little debate in the Senate chamber. I think you had two sides with two speakers from each side allowed to sound off in the Illinois Senate. And this was in the early morning hours while everybody was sleeping, early January of 2021. So it passed out of there, and then on the final day of legislative session for the 101st General Assembly in early January of 2021, the measure, the Safety Act, with the no cash bail provision passed the House. Now, all of this, of course, without the law enforcement community being able to sound off and actually have a thorough understanding of what was being passed. There were rumblings in the background about, hey, they want to get rid of cash bail. What's that going to look like? But there wasn't really a true vetting, according to law enforcement officials across the state, who said that the Safety Act is going to impact them negatively and it's going to hurt safety. So that was early January 2021. The governor signed it a few weeks later, and then, implementation of it, the no cash bail provision, was set way ahead of time into the future and wasn't set to take effect until January 1st of 2023, which was earlier this month. So you had from January of 2021 to January of 2023 for all of the debate to continue to happen about the Safety Act. There was an election in between there, November of 2022. So while a lot of the provisions of the Safety Act went into effect, everything from, certain regulations on police, setting up to make sure that all police in Illinois have body cameras. And there were multiple follow-up bills in the state legislature to clarify some of the issues within the Safety Act. But one of the biggest issues was the no cash bail and who exactly would be underneath that no cash bail provision. Because the way the language was written, it essentially said that an individual had to be a threat to a specific individual in order for them to be held behind bars pending trial. But you have people pushing back, saying that's way too specific, and this person who faces charges could actually be a general threat to the general public, so we should keep them behind bars. And you recall it even got up to Joe Rogan, where he was reading through the list of various charges that people could get out without bail, and that was like arson, intimidating a public official, second-degree murder, providing drugs for overdoses. I mean, he just went through a whole litany, and that was as we headed into the election. And even before the election, you had Democrats like Governor J.B. Pritzker say, yeah, we should probably make sure that it's clear that only violent offenders are allowed to be kept behind bars and not somebody who's charged for stealing a can of evaporated milk or something like that, right? So it became really politically heated into the 2022 election. The 22 election happens, and Democrats maintain dominance of the state house in both chambers and all statewide constitutional offices. And then they came back for fall veto session. They passed a 300-page bill that said, hey, we're modifying the no cash bail provision. Now people can be held pending trial if they fit this category of severe crimes, and a whole host of other things, including changing the questions that people had about trespass and whether or not a police officer could issue or arrest somebody that's trespassing on private property. They modified that to say they can't arrest them right away. They have to issue a summons or a citation first. And then only after that citation's issued, if the person doesn't leave the premises, then the law enforcement officer can arrest them. So they did modify that as well. But regardless of the 4 different amendments that were approved by the General Assembly and enacted by the governor, you still had states' attorneys across the state sue and sheriffs across the state sue. Altogether, 64 of them sued, and multiple different lawsuits all across the state. They consolidated those lawsuits into Kankakee County. The Kankakee County judge heard the challenge before the new year, and on just a few days before the new year, that Kankakee County judge issued a temporary restraining order against the state from enforcing no cash bail based on a variety of issues. Now, while the judge said the state did not violate the 3 readings rule, or the need for public debate, or the need for single subject, because they say that the challenge is that it was so broad. It dealt with crime, it dealt with jail, it dealt with police. The judge didn't say that that's the violation. The judge instead pointed to being a violation of separation of powers, and also violating the state constitution when it comes to the Victims' Rights Amendment and other provisions. So now we've got this case that before the new year, before it was set to go into effect, a Kankakee County judge said it's not going to go into effect for these counties while we work this out. But then it was appealed to the state Supreme Court, and on New Year's Eve, the state Supreme Court said we can't have a patchwork of counties implementing no cash bail and other counties not implementing cash bail or no cash bail. So the Supreme Court said we're going to suspend this law across the state so that there's even and equal administration of the justice system. And they'll take all these briefs and everything, and we'll probably get to some kind of resolution by March. Well, some of the first briefs filed, and one being the Illinois Attorney General's office filing that brief with the Illinois Supreme Court. We'll go through some of that and get some of your calls here with WMAY. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. And much more on this in the next segment with some of your calls as well. Stay tuned. All right, we got to take a break. Let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today you've got some somewhat mild conditions, the high of 44 with the low down to around 27, increasing clouds. And then Saturday, 20% chance of rain with a high of 47. Sunday, we're looking at a chance of rain with a high of 31. And then Monday, mostly cloudy, only 23 the high. Tuesday, chance of snow with a high of 22. And Wednesday, partly sunny with a high of 27. Right now, it's 23 degrees at 719 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions. And did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
This is Jim over at CBD Botanicals. So as we come into this new year, I know a lot of people are doing some new habits. They're getting into the gym a little bit more, maybe checking your diets a little bit better. Well, we have that for you here too, from beginning to end, whether it's a pre-workout in the Kill Cliff, it could be in the CBG that I use just to bring down the inflammation. CBG kind of turbocharges your CBD, and it's amazing for the anti-inflammatory effects. And a lot of people know I jumped out of a lot of helicopters as a Marine, and that's starting to catch up with me a few years later. So this helps me out a ton as I go into racquetball and pickleball season to help me kind of recover better and also be ready sooner. One of our top products is this 1,500 milligram topical cream that I created with a friend of mine. It goes well on my skin, and it also doesn't smell like anything. So you're not going to walk around smelling like a flower or smelling like hemp, but you're going to have that pain relief. So come on by, check these things out. You can sample nearly everything in the shop. CBD Botanicals at 2538 South Cokie Mill Road at the corner of Cokie Mill and Isles, next to Walgreens in the Fresenius building.
Well, it's going to be overcast. It's going to be cold, possibly some flurries in the mix, and it's going to get even colder into next week. You don't want to walk around a cold and potentially icy blacktop looking at new vehicles. No, you want to be indoors, and that's what Mike Quimby and the crew at Green Hyundai have for you, is an indoor shopping experience where it's a nice tropical 72 degrees, Mike Quimby.
That's right, Greg. It is a beautiful facility out here at the Old Shop and Save on the corner of Chatham Road in Wabash. The lighting is perfect in here. We've got $4.5 million worth of cars in here. We've sold right at 65 cars since we opened this sale. We still have another close to 200 cars we need to move. So we're writing them down again for the final weekend in the month of January. This is it for January, and then we'll be moving into February. So you need to get out here this weekend, tonight until 7, Saturday till 6. It's the ginormous sale that's going on out here. The used car manager went through all the inventory, put it on the money. We're going to sell it for auction price. All cars are clearly marked. We have 0% available for you, and you can stretch your payments out till March if you'd like to. So, yep, it's going on at the ginormous auto clearance event going on at the Old Shop and Save. It's the Shop and Drive sale, Greg, at the corner of Chatham Road in Wabash.
Mike Quimby, Green Hyundai. Have a great weekend.
Appreciate it, Greg. Thank you.
The Ramsey Show. You're also supposed to enjoy money. We're talking to the frugal who need to be more generous and enjoy their money. Now, some of you that overspend out there, you spend like you're in Congress, you don't have any issue with this enjoying money thing. You enjoy other people's money, called debt. You enjoy everything. Enjoying money without overdoing it is a sign of maturity. Yeah. And it's not age maturity, it's emotional maturity.
The Ramsey Show, weeknights at 10. Sponsored by INB. Bank Easy. Bank INB.
There are 3 words I always hear when someone from our staff is on the phone. We got it. Hi, it's Laurie from Rex Battery, and whenever somebody calls us and asks if we have a certain type of battery, the answer is always, we got it. Even in those very rare instances we don't, we know how to get it. And if we don't know how to get it, we'll build it. That's how committed we are to making sure you have the power you need. From model cars to real cars, from toys to tractors, dog collars to doorbells, riding mowers to remote keys. If it takes a battery, we have it at Rex Battery. Over 75,000 batteries in stock right now. So if you're wondering if we've got a battery, yep, we've got it. They're fresh, fully charged, and ready to go. Keeping Central Illinois fully powered for over 60 years. Rex Battery, Clear Lake, west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
What's the best thing to do with your money during uncertain times? Financial experts agree products like certificates of deposit and money market accounts can be a safe haven from a bumpy economy. At Warren Boynton State Bank, we've been helping people find ways for their money to make money for 145 years. Certificates of deposit, or CDs, give you a guaranteed return on your money. Money market accounts are a way to let your money earn higher interest with the flexibility of a checking account. These are just 2 options we have at Warren Boynton, each designed to give your money security, and they just might help you sleep better at night. At Warren Boynton, you can say we've seen a few things over the years. A lot has happened since we opened our doors in 1877, but no matter what was going on in the rest of the world, we've stood by folks in Central Illinois. A little extra confidence during challenging economic times. Warren Boynton State Bank, WBSB.net, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Start the new year off with a bang at Hendrick's Home Furnishings going on now. Take up to 30% off tag sale prices on all in-stock Lazy Boy furniture. That's right, up to 30% off of Hendrick's already discounted sale prices, not from MSRP or list prices like the other stores. In stock and ready for delivery only at Central Illinois' go-to store for Lazy Boy deals. Family-owned Hendrick's Home Furnishings, delivering fine furniture since 1949 on Route 4 in Verdon.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Listen on demand at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
So we were going through some of the background of the Safety Act and the no cash bail provision that the Illinois Supreme Court suspended just before the new year, just before it was set to go into effect. And now we've got the first reply brief that was filed by the Illinois Attorney General's office, and you can follow along with all of these briefs. Just search the Illinois Supreme Court's websites, and you'll be able to find this. High-profile Supreme Court cases. All right, and you can look at the filings and the appeals, and the latest case being that from the Attorney General's office. And you go through and you look at the case, and it talks about the issues presented and goes through and details all of the various facts that the Illinois Attorney General's office is trying to lay out here. And just to kind of pluck through some of this, it's almost 60 pages long. But it gives background about the case. 64 different counties suing, consolidated into Kankakee. The Kankakee County judge issuing a restraining order just before the new year that was only going to affect those 64 counties. The state Supreme Court said we can't have that kind of unequal justice across the state, so they suspended the entirety of no cash bail pending any outcome from the state Supreme Court. And then they said, here's the schedule of people who have to file. So the Attorney General filing saying that the issues presented are whether the Illinois Constitution prevents the General Assembly from eliminating monetary bail because monetary bail is required by either Article 1, Section 9, which makes criminal defendants bailable subject to certain expectations, or B, Article 1, Section 8.1, which guarantees certain rights to crime victims. So those are the two main elements that the Kankakee County judge said the no cash bail provision violates when it comes to the passage of this and implementing it. But then the Attorney General goes into the definition of bail, talking about, back in the day, it was a different type of consideration, saying that bail did not mean monetary bail, they say. The practice of allowing a defendant to be released pre-trial only upon payment. Rather, they say that the term bail referred to a pre-trial release more generally granted on conditions designed to ensure the defendant's appearance at future court appearances, making sure that they get their surety, they say. And the Illinois Constitution lays that out, saying that there needs to be some kind of surety. But it goes on to talk about, the definitions that were used in 1755 or in the 19th century. But what about the 1970 Constitution? Because that's the language that those pointing to the question of this violates the state constitution, having no cash bail. The Constitution sets out that it says, some kind of surety for bail. But the Attorney General's office says the legislative history of the 1970 Constitution also refutes plaintiffs' reading of that clause, which would protect the non-defendant's liberty, interested in instead of the institution's monetary bail. Indeed, the Attorney General's office says the convention drafters expressly discussed the possibility that the General Assembly might at some point abolish monetary bail and agree that doing so would not violate the bail clause. So interesting to see that highlighted in their argument. And they say, indeed, were the circuit court correct? The bail provision enacted in 1963 and applied without controversy for decades since would be unconstitutional en masse, a result and cannot be squared with common sense, history, or, for that matter, Hemingway itself, a different type of ruling, which discusses at length the importance of the sections of Code of Criminal Procedure regarding and regulating pretrial release. So, again, cash bail, it's still something that's not being... No cash bail is not being enforced across the state because of actions taken by state's attorneys across the state, and the Kankakee County judge issuing a temporary restraining order, and the Illinois Supreme Court taking all of that now with briefs being filed. It's not going to be until March until that's dealt with. So we'll be keeping an eye on all of that as well here on WMAY. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop. Follow along with me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Really, you're going to get the most impact following me on Twitter or on YouTube, where we post regularly, including the live show 6 to 9 here on 92.7 WMAY. All right, stay tuned. Pretty fun event coming up. Tell you about the Fat Ass 5K. What is it? Well, got details coming ahead. Right now, it's 7:31. Here's some news.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story: public water agencies in California will be getting more water from the state because of recent heavy rains. State water officials said yesterday that public water agencies will be getting 30% of what they asked for rather than the 5% state officials had announced in December. Storms dumped record amounts of rain on California the past 3 weeks, helping to replenish reservoirs which had been at dangerously low levels. State officials warned that dry conditions could return when the state's rainy season ends in 2 months. The Springfield School Board is considering a proposal to spend more than $200,000 on a program to bring yoga and mindfulness classes to the city's elementary schools. The program is designed to help students cope with anxiety, deal with trauma, and develop better self-regulation techniques. The cost of $192,000 for instruction includes teacher training, while $35,000 would be dedicated for supplies and would be paid for out of federal COVID relief funding. The candidates for Springfield mayor differ over what should happen next to Wyndham City Center downtown. Incumbent Mayor Jim Langfelder supports the owner's plan to convert dozens of units in the 30-story hotel to apartments, so long as the Wyndham retains 225 hotel rooms and conference space for conventions. Challenger Misty Busher says the Wyndham should not convert any of its current hotel rooms to apartments since downtown shops rely on visitors rather than city residents for the bulk of their business. Wednesday's candidate forum can be heard on demand at WMAY.com. Tuition is rising for incoming freshmen at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, but not at the University of Illinois Springfield. The U of I Board of Trustees approved a 1.9% increase in tuition for the Urbana-Champaign and Chicago campuses. For Urbana-Champaign, a full-time student would pay $12,712 a year, an increase of $238. UIS will continue to charge $321.50 per credit hour. Under Illinois law, tuition rates for incoming freshmen are locked in for 4 years. Democratic State Senator Robert Martwick plans to reintroduce the idea of a graduated income tax after voters narrowly rejected a constitutional amendment to make that change in 2020, despite support from Governor J.B. Pritzker. Martwick says the focus will be on providing middle-class tax relief, but hasn't released details. Republicans responded by introducing a resolution that calls on lawmakers to respect the will of voters and reject any graduated tax proposal. Pritzker says he's not focused on bringing the idea up again. Governor J.B. Pritzker commented on the dispute between Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and the College Board over the contents of an African American Studies course. DeSantis directed Florida schools not to offer the course because he says it engages in woke ideology, including topics like queer theory and abolishing prisons. Pritzker says Illinois will reject any changes made because of what he calls Florida's racist and homophobic laws. Both men are being discussed as potential presidential candidates in 2024. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News sponsored by 7th Street Cidery, Central Illinois' first cidery, now open next door to Obed and Isaac's in downtown Springfield. Springfield has so many must-see destinations when you come to visit, such as the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Museum, Bicentennial Plaza, and don't forget 7th Street Cidery. Yes, 7th Street Cidery, Central Illinois' first cidery, is quickly becoming a destination for their great selection of locally sourced ciders, meads, and perries in a warm, rustic atmosphere. Located at 503 South 7th Street next to Obed and Isaac's and across from Lincoln's home. Near great shopping and history in the heart of downtown Springfield. 7th Street Cidery.
If you love barbecue and tasty butts drive you nuts, wiggle on over to Lil Willie's Smokehouse. Fresh smoked barbecue that you're gonna love. What's your pleasure? Brisket, pork, chicken? Lil Willie's got it. And all of the classic sides, like homemade mac and cheese and cornbread. Follow your nose to the smoke at Lil Willie's Smokehouse. Ask about Willie's Rewards, where you get points for eating barbecue. Lil Willie's Smokehouse at the corner of South Grand and MacArthur. Wiggle Central.
For more information, visit littlewilliesbbq.com.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Hi, I'm Misty Busher. For the last 8 years, I've been your Springfield City Treasurer. During that time, I modernized the office and earned over $8 million in interest. I'm proud to be a Springfield resident, and my husband Mike and I have raised our 2 children here. I'm running for mayor, and in the coming months, I will share with you my specific ideas on how I will bring new energy and leadership to help our city grow and prosper. I'm Misty Busher, and I'm working to earn your vote for Springfield Mayor.
Paid for by Friends of Misty Busher.
Keep your radio on 92.7 WMAY all weekend for the latest breaking news and constant updates from ABC News. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Today, mostly cloudy and breezy with a high near 44, low around 27. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high near 47. Chance of a wintry mix tomorrow night with a low around 25. Sunday, cloudy with a high near 31, low around 16. Monday, mostly cloudy with a high near 23, low around 9 degrees. Tuesday, chance of snow with a high near 22. And Wednesday, partly sunny with a high near 27. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
The ginormous indoor auto sale event is back, this time at the Old Shop and Save on Chatham Road. The Old Shop and Save is now Drive and Save. Green Hyundai and the Goats at Green Certified West have moved all used vehicles indoors to the Old Shop and Save. Hundreds of vehicles all marked down indoors at the ginormous Drive and Save indoor auto sale at the corner of Chatham Road and Wabash. Aisle after aisle of fresh local trades. No freezer section here. All these vehicles are inside at a balmy 72 degrees. You don't even need to clip coupons to get 0% financing and huge savings on cars, trucks, minivans, SUVs, and more. And with Mike Quimby being there, you know you'll get more for your trade than anywhere. The ginormous Drive and Save indoor auto sale at the Old Shop and Save is going on now. Corner of Chatham Road in Wabash. 0% financing for 36 months, $10,000 max finance with approved credit through Heartland Credit Union.
How would you like to work for the area's premier multimedia marketing and advertising company right here in Springfield? Well, here's your opportunity. At Midwest Family, we're looking for talented and dynamic account executives who thrive in a fast-paced working environment. Those who are passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive. Are you a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have a grasp on today's digital media? And do you have the ability to cultivate lasting relationships and partnerships? If this sounds like this is for you, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on our careers tab. At Midwest Family Springfield, we offer unique sales career opportunities where you're given a challenging mission, world-class tools like HubSpot CRM, ongoing training, and the chance to realize your full potential as a marketing and advertising sales professional. This is Rob Zavitka, Director of Sales and Business Development Manager at Midwest Family Springfield. Are you my next candidate? If so, please apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
92.7 WMAY.
Springfield's news and talk.
There's an event that happens on, downtown city of Springfield streets where a lot of people get together to show off just how much they don't train for 5Ks and instead are looking for delicious treats, delicious drinks, and awesome music. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Fat Ass 5K. If you're not familiar with this, where have you been? Because it's been going on for quite some time, and joining us right now is Chrissy Maher. She is the longtime organizer, along with others who helped put this together, the Fat Ass 5K in downtown Springfield. Chrissy, thanks for taking time with us each and every year. Thanks for putting on this event. It's huge. Tell us all the details.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to break it up a little bit on your show and talk about something fun that brings people together.
Absolutely.
Right? So it is May 12th and 13th this year. The Friday night is open to everybody, regardless if you're doing the 5K. We will have 3 bands, the Shenanigans, Lick Creek, and Off the Wall. And DJ Chris Murphy's coming back.
Oh, nice.
And then Saturday is the 5K, which you can walk, which most people do. We do have a lot of runners as well.
Yeah.
And
which, by the way, I've done that before.
Yes.
I've run the Fat Ass 5K, and I've also walked it. And I got to say, I mean, running, it's great, but you miss out. You miss out on the corn dogs. You miss out on the beer. You can try hitting it all up.
Yeah, we got some that run and spill. Maybe run the first lap, walk the second lap.
Yeah, but then it's all about timing and getting to the stations to get the corn dogs, to get the donuts, to get the beer.
Actually, you should run first to the corn dogs.
Yes.
Because there's limited quantity from both because the quality, you know?
Right.
So then you could walk the rest.
So there are strategies. Chrissy Maher with us, Maher with us, and I think that you should probably have like a training night. Not a running training, but like sitting down with a map.
Yes.
And invite the public out. Say, hey, okay, here's the strategy best deployed. You sprint to the corn dogs, then you sprint to the beer, and then you could just leisurely take your time and enjoy the entertainment.
That would work. We like to train often, you know, which you go to the bars, go to the Mellow Cream, Cold Stone, all of that. It's very hard sometimes. You have to keep pushing through, but you'll get there.
You will get there. It's the Fat Ass 5K coming up May 12th and the 13th, downtown Springfield. This is what year number?
15 maybe?
Oh, wow. Holy
It started
cow.
in 08, and then COVID, I don't even know what year we're on now. It just keeps going because it's too fun.
I know it. And raising substantial money as well.
Substantial. Over $1.8 million donated thus far.
That's
and most of it's local. It
Yeah.
stays here in specific projects where we know it's making an impact.
And you got a $10 promo code for listeners?
Sure do. WMAY. Easy to remember. It's good through Sunday.
Good through Sunday. So WMAY is the promo code. Where do they go and enter that when they register?
fatass5k.com. You'll see it. Don't be a dumbass.
So don't be a dumbass and make sure that you hit up the Fat Ass 5K. It is downtown Springfield, May 12th through the 13th. Chrissy Maher with us. That $10 promo code, good through Sunday. It's WMAY. So be sure to enter that and you'll be able to get $10 off. But there's multiple stages that people can get. They can either just do the Saturday event or do what?
We actually simplified it.
Okay, great.
So if you're doing the event on Saturday, it is over 21 and under 21.
Okay.
There's a special shirt, little Abe Lincoln Piggy usually, for those under a certain age. And then otherwise, it's all inclusive. So you get your T-shirt, which is world famous, let's be honest.
Yeah. Especially for what's written on the back of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because that changes every year, and it's got some...
We've got some good ones this year. It is hard to choose.
That's good.
And then you get lunch cooked by the wonderful Chris Hankin and his crew out of Public House 29 in Rochester. You get all the drinks included. Pepsi, Coors products, maybe a little seltzer, I don't know. And then all the fun on the route and all the Captain Geach and all the partying, all the fun.
It is seriously, it's over the top. I mean,
A little bit.
Because it's not just the food, it's not just the music, it's not just the drinks, combined with people who might want to run it or might just want to lackadaisical enjoy the atmosphere. But it's also the fundraising aspect of it. It's the community aspect of it. You're helping raise funds for the local community. But it's just all around an incredibly ridiculous good time. And what really is the icing on the cake, Chrissy, is the costumes, because there are people who go over the top.
It's so fun, too, when we have groups of people that get together to do theme costumes. We never have a theme, so make it whatever you want. The creators back in 2008, Paul and Katie Schaefer, they just imagined it as something for everybody to do. And the goofier, the better. It's kind of just do what you like. Smile, have fun, go with it.
And this, of course, listen, I'm kind of training for a half marathon. I woke up this morning and literally rolled onto the treadmill, and I was like, oh, okay, this is 2 miles, blah. We'll see if I can do that half marathon when that's April 1st.
Yes.
But if I can do that,
you got this.
You can do the half marathon. So make sure the Fat Ass 5K. All right. So make sure that you get your registration. $10 promo code WMAY is the promo code. That's good until Sunday. The website again, people can enter that.
fatass5k.com.
All right, so make it happen. It is May 12th and the 13th. $10 promo code through Sunday, WMAY. You've got bands lined up for Friday. You've got bands, music, food, all lined up for Saturday. All the charities that you're helping out, over $1 million+ over the span of the lifetime of the Fat Ass 5K. You can't go wrong with that. And Chrissy, are you still looking for some sponsors to step up and help out?
Always. We really rely on community support, and it's just great to get the community involved because you get to make direct impacts and just be with everybody.
Absolutely. Thumbs up. So make it happen. Not just those looking to do the Fat Ass 5K, but also any businesses wanting to step up and help out as well. You guys need volunteers?
Yes.
Yes, always. Simple enough answer. Yes, they need volunteers. Who should they reach out to get the?
We will have registration open for that closer to the event.
Okay, great. So still some time for you to consider volunteering for the event, but those of you wanting to take part in the Fat Ass 5K for charity, it's a street party and it's a race, plus corn dogs, donuts, beer, music, costumes. It's going to be off the hook and it's something that's otherworldly. So get down here, even if you're not from the Springfield area. I mean, you get people from all around, don't you?
Every state has had participants,
Wow.
even a couple other countries. It's a good time. Brings a lot of people into downtown Springfield.
So
Helps
make
the
it
economy.
happen.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Good stuff. Chrissy Maher with the Fat Ass 5K. Thank you so much for taking time with us. We'll talk again soon, all right?
Soon. Thanks, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News on WMAY. Now at 7:47 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Dream Nissan, Dream Nissan.
Not your typical dealership you're dealing with.
Dream Nissan, Dream Nissan.
We've got the ride and the price you want to pay.
Dream Nissan, putting your dreams in your driveway.
Number one choice, Midwest dealer. Guaranteed financing, no hassle-friendly service, unlimited warranty. Come see us in Wood River.
Dream Nissan, putting your dreams in your driveway.
You create phenomenal value for your clients. You offer something extraordinary. Your work is your passion. At Ace Sign Company, we create visual communications that capture the professionalism, purpose, and the extraordinary values of your business. Discover how our team can work with yours to ignite your clients' confidence and strengthen your brand with true inspirational signage. Ace Sign Company, built to inspire. AceSignCo.com.
As you sit slightly sideways staring at a ditch, it's about now you're thinking, I sure wish I'd have visited Lauterbach and done something about these tires. Worry not, we've all been there. And Lauterbach is here. It's the Lauterbach man, and I'm overlooking stacks of fresh tires ready for your car. Putting two and two together, it's pretty clear that a place called Lauterbach Tire is quite exceptional when it comes to those rubber miracles. See, good tread and properly balanced tires can mean the difference between you choosing when to stop and that slushy ditch choosing for you. And it's not exaggerating to say better tires can mean a safer Springfield. I'm serious about safety, and I know you are too. So let's meet over lunch or whenever is convenient for you and find you a nice set of safe tires. You'll be happy, and that car in front of you right now will be happy too. See my talented techs at Lauterbach Tire on Wabash today, and drive safely now.
Why waste another night on a mattress that's not comfortable or supportive? This is Caleb Kitzman with Verlo Mattress. Our mattresses aren't dropped off by the truckload like most mattress stores. At Verlo, we handcraft every mattress in our local factory. That means we custom fit a mattress for you, not the other way around. Stop in this month and pair any of our mattresses with an adjustable base and get up to $200 off. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Save up to $600 during Verlo's clearance sale.
Right now, during the Verlo Mattress Clearance Sale, you can save even more with Verlo's already low consumer direct prices. Oh, you'll find phenomenal savings on floor models and discontinued mattresses. And all our mattresses are made locally, just for you, and are backed by our lifetime comfort guarantee. Oh, but you'd better hurry. The sale ends soon. Wake up, sleep better, and save at Verlo.
Anxiety. There's plenty of it to go around for just about everyone these days, but the question is, how are you dealing with it? Anxiety can make things difficult. If you find yourself reaching for drugs or alcohol as the solution, chances are your anxiety has gotten out of control. It's time to pick up the phone and call Gateway Foundation. You'll talk with someone who holds the strictest confidentiality so that you can open up and learn about treatment options. Our team of professional counselors, therapists, psychiatrists, and physicians have a long history of helping people like you get back on track. During the healing process, you'll find that there is nothing to be ashamed of. Calling Gateway Foundation is that important first step towards getting away from the self-medication of alcohol and other substances and on the road towards safe, rewarding, and sustainable recovery. Call Gateway Foundation at 877-505-HOPE for a free, private, confidential screening. Gateway Foundation, addiction medicine saving lives.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs.
I never thought about space in my cramped apartment, but in this house, all I see is empty space. The sofa and ottoman look like tiny islands in a sea of hardwood floors. I could get 2 ottomans in the living room, but then I'd need another sofa. I could tell people I'm into minimalism.
Anyway, when you save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto, that's the easy part of adjusting to the suburbs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers.
Take Springfield's morning news with Greg Bishop everywhere with the free WMAY mobile app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
All right, it's final few moments this hour, and where do we go from here? It's Friday. We can open it up and have some fun. We talked about a bunch of stuff, everything from all of the different movements that there have been with the gun cases, and some motions to consolidate the gun cases. You got the state police doing that. You've got the McHenry County State's Attorney filing their motion to ultimately have a temporary restraining order against the gun law. We've talked about sheriffs continuing to reaffirm their position that they're not going to enforce the law. We talked about